You know, Rusty, our fact checker, certified dimmer, he's already said today, don't you dare say it's President's Day. You are not to say it.
Yes, he's both wished us, and probably you as well, Biggie, a very happy Washington's birthday.
Right? And then he went inside the numbers on how officially it is recognized as Washington's birthday and not President's Day, even though everybody in America calls it President's Day, and some people have President's Day off. I guess the stock market is closed. I know my daughter is off school, and she was shocked that I was going into work today. She said, "You're not working tomorrow, are you?" I said, Yes, I am.
Some radio programs take the day.
Well, some.
In recognition.
Some.
The streets were more empty than normal this morning, I noticed on my commute in.
Quiet.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I always thought of President's Day as just kind of a...
You mean Washington?
Sorry, excuse me.
Excuse me.
I was
We're going to get letters.
Please.
I always thought of Washington's birthday as just kind of a holiday, but not everyone got it off. I think more places give people off now.
Agreed. Well, I never even thought about it when we were kids. I mean, we talked about it in school, but we went to school. You know, nobody got the day off or anything. I believe our garbage is being picked up, though.
I think the cities, the city governments are open, but like the national stuff, I don't think there's mail and banks. Wall
Street's closed. Yeah, I check that every.
Of course you do.
I said,
despite his wardrobe, yes, he's very concerned with the stock market.
I look at the stock market quite often, but today when I go to that little app, I'll go to it 3 times. Oh yeah, closed. Whatever close was on Friday, it'll be the same.
And you, Chris Kelly, have I've learned this about you through the years. You pride yourself on working days like today.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Where the rest of the world rests.
That's right.
You go, not me.
Strange flex.
They had to pry me out here on Juneteenth. Remember that?
The only person I know who was offered more vacation time and said, I have plenty.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Would you like more days off? I don't want any more days off.
No, I do not.
In fact, I want more days on.
That's right. I refuse. People were last week when I had no voice, and it's 50-50 today. That's right. It continues today. People were saying he won't be there tomorrow. I eschewed that. I said, of course.
And I did too. I told them all. I said, "Oh, he'll be there."
Of course. Because why? If I leave this seat, someone else will sit in it, and then they'll realize he doesn't do much. He doesn't do
That's easy.
hardly anything. It's really, really easy. Yep. So I refuse to even get out. Maybe that's why my seat's so hot. Maybe that's when you sit in it on Friday.
The literal hot seat. They always say coaches are on the hot seat.
I'm always on the hot seat, literally and figuratively.
You made it hot.
On the hot seat, I made it hot. That's exactly right. That's well put. I'll tell you, we had our 2 Guys Named Chris Comedy All-Star shows again this weekend. 2 really good ones, back-to-back, sold out. And in one of them, one of the comedians, Zach Johnson, who I love, they're all really funny. Andy Forrester, Big A, we've known him for a long time. Zach Johnson, who we've known for a short time, and then Colin Moulton. And everybody has said, great show. We have 2 left.
I don't want to jinx anything, but we're 4 for 4 with sellouts.
I was shocked. It's really...
So there might be a few seats left for this coming Friday, Saturday shows.
It's been overwhelmingly positive response, and everybody laughing and having a great time. In one of the shows only, one of the comedians started going a little political. Did a Trump joke, and the crowd reacted. And so then he started going more and more onto Trump, which was not done in the other nights, because we've heard them all, And I cannot tell you how much I was puckering backstage.
Oh,
my butthole.
Clenched.
My butt
They could hear you all the way up there in the green room clenching.
Yes. Is somebody whistling?
Yes.
Whoever's whistling backstage, if you could stop.
Is that a tea kettle coming to boil? No.
I puckered.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. The puckering I did. Yes, the whistling. Because he started going at it, with Trump fans. And I was like, we don't do this. We're not going to.
And not only did Zach, was unafraid about the material, he uses a cordless mic and he just wanders into the crowd.
Oh,
yeah. He's in there.
Yes. He's like Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
Anyone under 60 won't get that, but he went into the
he just wades into the
crowd and was arguing. I was like, "What are you doing?" And my butthole was like a toothpick, like the diameter of a toothpick. It puckered up so much. And afterwards, I said, "How'd you like that?" He goes, "Oh, I love that. I love the interaction." Okay. And
Yeah,
then-
he was coming down.
Now
Took him a while.
That was Friday night. Big crowd popping, you know. So, okay.
Are
Saturday.
you whistling?
Yeah.
More like the air escaping from a balloon.
Right. Yeah. Oh, the pucker. Oh, my God. So that was Friday night. Then Saturday, before he went on, I said to him, hot crowd tonight. We're looking, you know, trying to make a little conversation. And he goes,
I feel combative. Oh, no.
I said, I hope you have a great show. This is 2 minutes before he goes on. I'm going to introduce him. I hope you have a great show. He goes, it depends on what road I want to take him down. And I was like, let's take him to a fun place. I said, let's take him somewhere fun.
Is there a fun road?
Is there a fun road we can go down?
I feel combative.
So
I hope you don't.
he gets to that part in the show. He does one quick Trump joke. And all the other nights, he's just moved on. But on that one night, on Friday, he got into it with the audience. So this time he does the joke, and like half the audience is like, boo, and half are, yeah, you know, because it's Trump. And I'm so puckered. I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And my butthole is like, and he went the fun road. And I was like,
Like when you really open the balloon.
oh. I just relaxed. I just sat back and relaxed.
Thank you.
So 2 more times, and each time now I'm going to go to him and say, how fun are you feeling tonight? You know, are you feeling
Is it a fun crowd?
Is there anything I can do to make it fun?
He loves it. He loves that combative, and which is, of course, something I shy away from. By the way, later on the grid, I have a review of something political. I don't know if you recommend it to me or not. That movie, The Apprentice, about Donald Trump. I
have not seen that. Maybe BB Shea saw it.
I don't know who it's my wife. Sorry.
there we go.
There we go
Apologize to
again.
my wife. 2 weeks ago, my wife said, do you want to watch this movie called The Apprentice? I said, I have zero interest in that whatsoever. And she goes, it's about Donald Trump and how he got his power. I said, I have zero interest. We're not doing it. Yesterday, she said, do you want to watch The Apprentice? I said, oh, yeah, BB Shea said that was good. Let's have it.
What?
Once again, there goes my butthole is puckered up like you wouldn't believe. So we watched it. I believe the guy that plays Trump is nominated for Best Actor.
He is.
Probably should be. Had it really down.
Okay.
He's playing a young Trump. This movie takes place, I'm going to say, from 74 to about 86.
Oh, okay.
It's like the formation of what Donald Trump is. And the reason it's called The Apprentice, good backstory here. He is mentored by a guy named Roy Cohn, who I had only heard from the Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire.
He's in that?
Yes.
That's the only time you've heard of Roy Cohn.
Yes. I didn't know who Roy Cohn was. You know, the name came up like first 5 minutes of the movie. Donald Trump's meeting him. He's like, hi, I'm Roy Cohn. And I paused and I said, I know who that guy is.
Billy Joel.
So
Close friend.
Little factoid here.
my wife said, who is he? I said, well, he's in the Billy Joel song. She goes, yeah, but what did he do? I said, I don't know. He's next to Tuscanini.
He made the song.
I said, Roy Cohn, Juan Perón, Tuscanini, Dacron, Bien Fin Fu Falls, Rock Around the Clock. She goes, yeah, but who is he? I was like, I don't know, but
We're going to find out.
he's big enough to make the song. That's the only thing I knew about him. Well, apparently, I didn't know this. He mentored Donald Trump in the 70s to 80s. Very interesting story. I'll review it later. It's not even on the grid yet. I'll review it later. But it was good, very good movie, and interesting to see if it's accurate on,
Okay.
who knows really if it's accurate, but it really shows where Donald Trump got his roots. You know, it was Chris Demm that introduced me to liberal tears, only like right around the election. I didn't know this was a thing. Was it Selena Gomez who recently was crying?
yeah.
Well, she's the most recent, probably.
Yeah, she dropped a lot of liberal tears.
And when people do that, like if they go online and cry or say something, I'm always like, oh man, that's it for Trump now. Look at that. Selena Gomez is mad.
Well, you've been saying that for 10 years?
I know. And you always say, people don't care. They're like,
No, they love it.
Yeah.
they're drinking liberal tears. So now Sheryl Crow sold her Tesla because she doesn't like Elon Musk anymore, and she's giving the money to NPR. So I said to Chris Demm, big blow against Elon Musk. It's like liberal tears.
Nah.
Oh, big liberal tears.
Just
Just get a big red Solo cup.
Boo-hoo.
Fill it up.
Means absolutely nothing. Doesn't even matter whatsoever. Speaking of political statements, This is Rusty again, our fact checker. He's so on this. 6 years ago yesterday, I sent my last tweet, and it was controversial. It was very controversial.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't intended to be.
Here's the tweet. Yes, done. This is not good.
That's right.
End of transmission.
I meant to text it. I was trying to text, but I accidentally hit the Twitter thing. Somehow, it goes onto Twitter.
The number of buttons you have to hit for that to happen.
How did that happen?
One day, many, many years from now, if somebody's exploring online and they find your Twitter, that'll be the last thing.
I know.
And the other tweets are all about manufactured homes.
Yes.
Or sports announcers he liked.
Oh, that's right. You went and whose DMs did you slide into?
The great Jim Palmer.
That's right.
Orioles legend.
Jay Billis.
And the football announcer.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you this. Recently, Bernie Kosar.
Kosar.
I saw an interview with Kosar before the Super Bowl, and he was talking about the game that he played against Doug Flutie and Boston College, that famous pass. And then he talked about losing to the Broncos in heartbreaking fashion 2 years in a row at the AFC Championship. You remember those. The drive by John Elway, and then the next year was the fumble by Ernest Biner. Again, the Browns were set to win both games.
Yep.
Lost them both, have never been to a Super Bowl. Cleveland's never been to a Super Bowl. So, and Bernie Kosar was so classy when he talked about that as I was watching this interview. You know how a lot of those former players were going and do interviews before the Super Bowl, down on Radio Row and whatnot.
Yeah, they just walk around. It looks so awesome. You can just wave guys over.
I know. Is it one of these days, you know,
Is that Sterling
What a
Sharp?
dream.
get over it's Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, and that really is.
know.
I saw some other morning shows and things there, and it's true. These guys just waved. One show just waved Emmitt Smith over, and he came and sat down.
And all you have to do is at the end, they'll say, well, you're brought to us here by, Angel Soft.
Yeah, tell us about your charity that you're here with.
All it is.
And and it's like, but they'll just come over and sit down
Exactly.
all the time.
All the time. So Bernie Kosar was so classy, former quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I slid into his DMs and I said,
In what format? Twitter?
Yeah. So I went into his. I was like, because at the end he's like, catch me on Twitter at Bernie Kosar Browns or something.
So this is your most recent, I guess, Twitter experience.
Yeah,
or
but
Twixter attacks.
But this was just a private, thing.
Yeah.
And I kept going over the letters. It keeps counting me down. Like, you only got 10 letters left. I'm like, well, I got more to say. And I was saying, I love you so much because you were so great. And I'm a Broncos fan, but you were so awesome. What a worthy competitor. And he was like, I keep waiting. I keep going back to it to see. I don't know how he twixts me back, but I keep waiting to get a.
This is his daughter. He doesn't actually check this, and you're freaking me out.
I thought maybe I'd get some sort of poke or nudge or something, that he twixted me back, but
Please stop sending these.
I guess they don't do that. They don't twixt you back.
I mean, some
He
do,
didn't.
some don't.
He didn't, not yet.
You can't predict. Remember, there was a commercial years ago. I can't remember. It was one of those insurance companies. Who's the woman who sang that song "Stay"? Remember that hit that came out of
Lisa
nowhere?
Loeb.
Thank you, Biggie. Lisa Loeb. And she did a commercial where she's singing, and like the crew is crying behind the cameras.
Yes.
And she does this motion over her heart where she kind of empathizes with the crew. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And this is, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just tweeted that at Lisa Loeb and said, this is my favorite moment on TV this year. And she liked it. Lisa Loeb herself saw it. Now, she didn't message me or anything, but she gave it a thumbs up.
Okay. Look, I don't want to say I'm offended, but I have slid in and given incredibly heartfelt sentences to Jim Palmer, great pitcher for the Orioles, Jay Billis, Kirk Herbstreit, and now Bernie Kosar. Not one of them has. In fact, they've all blocked me.
Yep.
And here I am, and it's like it's the equivalent of when we do that interview. And I ask 18 questions, and the interviewee is bored by them. And Chris Demm at the very end says one thing, and they go, man, that is such a thought-provoking question. I've never been asked that before. It's incredible to watch that. So she hearts what.
Yeah, she hearted it.
My kid got hearted by somebody. One of the Nuggets he was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
He's been hearted by members of the NBA. My last tweet was, yes, done. This is not good. That was 6 years ago yesterday. It got 7 retweets and 43 likes.
Those people I'd love to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the subject matter, I don't even know. I can't remember.
There's no hashtag.
We don't know.
There's just your face with your hand like this.
Yes.
I can't remember the circumstances behind that profile pic.
That was taken in a YMCA. I was waiting to do something else. And
you tried to look like an author with a hand on face.
I did.
If you look at the back of a lot of book jackets, the authors often have their hands up in there near their face.
That's when Twitter was becoming a thing.
It was.
And I thought, am I going to embrace this? I have not. I have not embraced
Were you trying to impress management at some point?
Yes.
I believe we were told, too.
Yeah, step
you
up
gotta
your game.
I thought to myself, I'm going to go full bore on this. So I put my hand over my face. I took the picture. I've tweeted about 4 times, period.
Biggie's right. We were told that if you step up your social media game, the national media orders will just come rolling in. And they have not.
I have not. Of course, I haven't done that. I haven't stepped up my social. I just saw, was it Maya Hawke who said, she's the actress, and she hates social media. She said, I have an Instagram account. I hate it. But she keeps it because casting decisions sometimes are made based on how many social media followers you have, not based on your performance in the audition or how they like your acting. But if you have 10 million Instagram followers, they'll put you in a movie over somebody else who has 100,000.
Yeah.
Well, she's closer to the business than I am, but then, I don't know that that's 100% accurate.
I just read her. That's all I know of it, is that she said it. It's like, I have to keep my Instagram, even though I want to get rid of it because I can't stand it, but I won't be cast for any roles. Even though she's the daughter of two very famous actors. She's Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter. Right. And very good, by the way. I think she's really good. She was in Stranger Things, and she was in that movie we love.
She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, exactly. I don't know. That's what she said. I
actually believe her. Yeah, I do. I think that does.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
you'll be out of business if that's the only way you cast a movie.
No, but I think it's still, they want to know what your reach is. I mean, how many people you can promote the movie to. I am not shocked by that at all.
But you're not going to cast leads like that. Timothy Chalamet is Timothy Chalamet. He's going to get roles.
Well, but
nobody cares about his social media followers.
But for somebody like Maya Hawke,
she's not on that level.
If she goes up against somebody else and they're similar in name recognition, but the other person has 3 times as many social media followers, and you think they're basically either one could do the role, I bet they do.
That says more about the movie maker than me.
Oh, I agree.
I
don't like it.
I'm not saying it's right. I just am saying I'm not shocked by that at all anymore.
That's what she just said. That's what. Oh, and I saw that. You know what it reminds me of? I saw y'all recommended this. I had a lot of free time this Saturday afternoon and Sunday because I said to my wife, "I'm not to be bothered outside of these comedy shows. I have to give it my complete attention."
Oh,
well, and it was raining a lot. You couldn't pickle.
We pickled till it rained. Diesel got me out there, and then when it started, we kept on going. God, I don't even want to talk about it. I can't even talk about it. It was a terrible decision. My voice suffered for it, and yet I was out there pickling, even in early rain and a cold rain too. Nonetheless, when I was at home, my wife said, "Do you want to watch the?" She asked me 6 months ago, or 3 or 4 months ago, "Do you want to watch the Yacht Rock documentary?" And I was like, "No, I have no interest in that whatsoever." Well, last week, Chris Demm and Biggie told me how much they loved it. So this week, I said, "Let's watch that Yacht Rock documentary." And she said, "Who got to you?" I said, "Chris Demm says it's great."
Damn.
So I watched it, and it was really great.
It's really well done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's great. And then some of them at the end, Christopher Cross in particular said, what really killed us was MTV came along. And he's like, not only did he didn't think he had the look for MTV, and he didn't embrace it. He didn't. Like they were comparing Phil Collins, even though he wasn't like a movie star, good looks, he would go out there and have some fun thing that he was doing in these videos. And Christopher Cross said, I just wasn't interested in that. So I said to my wife, that's how I am with social media. That's why I've been left behind.
I'm Christopher Cross.
I'm Christopher Cross.
Of radio.
I didn't embrace it, and when it came along, so I get left in the dust. My last tweet was 6 years ago.
So 35 years from now, someone will say, hey, whatever happened to that Chris Kelly dude?
They'll say, you know what he didn't do? He didn't embrace Twixter like he should have. He took that one picture at the YMCA, and after that, it was no good. Only Bernie Kosar knows who he is.
And he has to be left alone.
Then they went to the guy who's in Toto, And they said, what do you call yacht rock? And he goes, well, I call it my career. Which is exactly right. I know.
Those guys in Toto really.
Oh, my God. They were everywhere. They were all
Every
over.
on every album.
You know, too.
They were so involved in all of music.
Of
music
80s.
that you would ever imagine. Yeah.
And everything. I was a little offended for it. And they talk about this, too. It's like when Yacht Rock came out, it's kind of like a joke. You know, it's like this music. And it was sort of poking fun at it. There was like a series online that made up the term Yacht Rock, and they did it in a funny way. And some of those guys said, well, like Kenny Loggins said, well, at first I was really offended, but then it was like, well, maybe it's a tribute. You know, it's a nice thing. I was offended for him, too. I was like, they're making fun of all this great music, but
they really weren't. I mean,
it turned out to be
and you know, like they said later, and they point out, nobody called it that at the time.
Exactly.
Nobody called it yacht rock.
Sure.
That's a 21st century.
Yeah, that's within the last 15, 20 years that has been said. And they pointed out, like, at the time, they didn't call classical music. That was 100 years later when they called it. They're like, all right, okay. But the term, I guess it's more fun than
I always found it endearing.
Yeah, it's more, that's how I think you have to look at it, especially if you're part of Yacht Rock. You have to look at it as endearing.
Except the guys in Steely Dan.
Oh, my God, that guy.
That was hilarious.
Donald
Fagen, like the term.
He's like, shut the F up and get the F off my phone. And they're like, okay. So he didn't. Yeah, was it Donald Fagen? He didn't do the interview. So he didn't care one thing about that term. Great documentary. I credited you and Chris Demm both with giving me that. To which my wife was angry and walked out of the room.
I've been wanting to watch this.
Months she's been wanting to watch it. I never, until somebody else recommends.